The life and legacy of Cleopatra, the seventh Philopator, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, remains one of history's most enigmatic and compelling figures. Her life, spanning from 69 BCE to 30 BCE, was marked by political brilliance, cultural sophistication, and a relentless drive to preserve Egypt's independence in the face of an expanding Roman Empire. Far from the one-dimensional seductress often portrayed in popular media, Cleopatra was a shrewd strategist, a multilingual diplomat, and a leader who navigated a treacherous geopolitical landscape with remarkable skill. Her story is not just one of personal ambition, but also a reflection of the complex interplay of power, culture, and gender in the ancient world. Early life and ascension to power. Cleopatra was born in 69 BCE in Alexandria, the vibrant capital of Egypt founded by Alexander the Great. She was a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek Macedonian family that had ruled Egypt since Alexander's death in 323 BCE. Despite her Greek heritage, Cleopatra embraced Egyptian culture more than her predecessors, presenting herself as a living embodiment of the goddess Isis to solidify her legitimacy among her subjects. She was the daughter of Ptolemy the XII Helots, a weak and unpopular ruler whose reign was plagued by internal strife and dependence on Roman support. Cleopatra's early life was shaped by the chaotic politics of the Ptolemaic court. At the age of 18, following her father's death in 51 BCE, she ascended to the throne alongside her younger brother Ptolemy XIII, as was customary in Ptolemaic tradition. The quarrel was fraught with tension, as factions within the court sought to manipulate the young Ptolemy against his sister. Cleopatra, however, quickly demonstrated her political acumen. She sought to consolidate power by aligning herself with Egypt's native population and sidelining her brother's advisors. This led to a power struggle, and by 49 BCE, Ptolemy XIII's supporters forced Cleopatra into exile. Alliance with Julius Caesar, Cleopatra's exile to Syria was not the end of her ambitions, but the beginning of her remarkable comeback. In 48 BCE, the Roman general Julius Caesar arrived in Alexandria, pursuing his rival Pompey during Rome's civil war. Cleopatra saw an opportunity to secure a powerful ally, according to legend. She had herself smuggled into Caesar's quarters wrapped in a carpet, a dramatic gesture that showcased her boldness and charisma. The meeting marked the start of a pivotal alliance, both political and personal. Cleopatra, then 21, and Caesar, in his 50s, formed a partnership that reshaped the eastern Mediterranean. With Caesar's military support, Cleopatra defeated Ptolemy XIII's forces in the Battle of the Nile in 47 BC. Ptolemy drowned in the river, and Cleopatra was restored to the throne. Now quarreling with another younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, her relationship with Caesar also produced a son. Ptolemy Caesar, nicknamed Caesarion, born in 47 BCE, Cleopatra presented Caesarion as her heir, a move that signaled her intent to blend Egyptian and Roman power. Cleopatra's time in Rome, where she lived from 46 to 44 BCE as Caesar's guest, was a high-stakes diplomatic mission. She resided in a villa across the Tiber River, hosting lavish events to impress Rome's elite. Her presence, however, stirred controversy. Many Romans viewed her as a foreign queen with undue influence over Caesar, who was already suspected of aspiring to monarchy. When Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March in 44 BCE, Cleopatra returned to Egypt, her position precarious, but her resolve unbroken. The partnership with Mark Antony, the power vacuum following Caesar's death, thrust Rome into another civil war, and Cleopatra once again found herself navigating a shifting landscape. She aligned herself with Mark Antony, one of the triumvirs ruling Rome, alongside Octavian and Lepidus. Antony, tasked with overseeing the eastern provinces, summoned Cleopatra to Tarsus in 41 BCE, their meeting. Aboard her opulent barge was a masterclass in political theater. Cleopatra arrived adorned as Aphrodite, surrounded by attendants and exotic luxuries, captivating Antony and securing his allegiance. The partnership between Cleopatra and Antony was both romantic and strategic. Antony needed Egypt's wealth and resources to fund his military campaigns, particularly against the Parthian Empire, while Cleopatra sought Roman protection to preserve Egypt's autonomy and expand its influence. The couple had 3 children, twins Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene, was born in 40 BCE, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. Born in 36 BCE, their relationship, however, was not without complications. Antony was already married to Octavian's sister, Octavia, and his growing ties to Cleopatra fueled tensions with Octavian, who saw the Egyptian queen as a threat to Roman values. In 34 BCE, Antony and Cleopatra staged the donations of Alexandria, a grand ceremony in which they distributed territories to their children. Cleopatra was proclaimed Queen of Kings, and her sons were granted vast regions, including parts of the Levant and North Africa. The event was a bold assertion of their shared vision for a Hellenistic empire, but it outraged Rome's elite, who viewed it as a betrayal of Roman interests. Octavian seized on this to wage a propaganda war, portraying Cleopatra as a manipulative sorceress bent on destroying Rome. The fall of Cleopatra and Antony. The rivalry between Antony and Octavian culminated in the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, a naval confrontation off the coast of Greece. Cleopatra and Antony's combined forces faced Octavian's fleet, led by his general Agrippa. The battle was a disaster for the couple. Cleopatra, commanding her own ships, withdrew from the fray, possibly to preserve her fleet, and Antony followed. Their defeat marked the beginning of the end. Octavian pursued them to Egypt, where Antony's forces gradually deserted him. In 30 BCE, as Octavian's army closed in on Alexandria, Antony took his own life after receiving false reports of Cleopatra's death. Cleopatra, now 39, sought to negotiate with Octavian, hoping to secure a future for her children. Octavian, however, had no intention of allowing her to retain power. According to tradition, Cleopatra died by suicide, allowing an asp to bite her, though some modern scholars suggest she may have used poison. Her death in August 30th BCE marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and Egypt's independence. As the region became a Roman province under Octavian, now Augustus, legacy and cultural impact. Cleopatra's legacy is a tapestry of myth and reality. In her lifetime, she was a master of self-presentation, blending Greek, Egyptian, and Roman identities to project power. She spoke 9 languages, including Egyptian, and was renowned for her intellect and charm. Her ability to forge alliances with Rome, its most powerful Mensacer, and Antony ensured Egypt as survival as an independent state longer than seemed possible in an era of Roman expansion. After her death, Roman propaganda, particularly under Augustus, vilified Cleopatra as a decadent femme fatale, a narrative that persisted in Western literature and art. Writers like Plutarch and Shakespeare, and later Hollywood, emphasized her sexuality over her political genius, often overshadowing her contributions as a ruler. Yet, archaeological discoveries and reinterpretations by modern historians have painted a fuller picture, highlighting her economic reforms, her efforts to stabilize Egypt's grain supply to Rome, and her patronage of arts and sciences in Alexandria. Cleopatra's children faced varied fates. Caesarion was executed by Octavian, but Cleopatra Selene survived, marrying King Juba II of Mauritania and preserving her mother's legacy in North Africa. Today, Cleopatra remains a symbol of resilience and adaptability. A woman who wielded power in a male-dominated world and left an indelible mark on history. Her story, blending triumph and tragedy, continues to captivate, reminding us of the enduring allure of a queen who dared to defy empires,